I'm going to attempt to solve 3 different Rubik's Cubes in this single live broadcast. Well, have attempted a lot of times to solve a Rubik's Cube, but we only do that one at a time, right? But solving 3 at a time is a little challenging since all of them are scrambled in different patterns, and I'll have to solve all of them at once. So just a disclaimer, I'm not a speed cuber. I just do Rubik's Cubes for fun. Okay? So I'm just going to attempt to solve all 3 cubes at once. That's all I can say. Okay, so let's start first with this cube. And I'll try to solve this in less than 2 minutes. That is my average for all of the solving of the cubes. So, let's begin now. My usual technique in solving Rubik's Cubes is not of the ordinary. Because mostly they go with the side cubes, but I go to the corners. Because I know that the corners are much more fixed in color than that of the sides. Because you'll need the centers as your base. But in my case, I don't need that. So the corners will be much more prominent here. So I'm already at the second layer. So I've already been doing Rubik's Cubes for years. So it all started back in college when one of my college classmates made a dare for me to solve one cube. But of course, at that time, I'm not familiar with the Rubik's Cube yet. But as time goes by, I tend to become curious on how to solve these Rubik's Cubes because it has been puzzling for me for years. So, I tried to make a research on solving Rubik's Cubes, but at the time, the tutorials on YouTube were not that available yet. So, I tend to do the research myself through its official website. So, I got to get into all of the patterns and all of the scenarios, and there. Already got solved one cube. Here's another variant. So this supposed to have a lighting mechanism inside, but unfortunately when I tried to push on the switch, it doesn't light up. I'm not sure if that's a battery problem or it's maybe the problem of the cube, but who knows. But it's still slick as I could solve it, so let's just solve it right now. Okay, where were we? So I went to this website on rubikscube.com, and that's the first time that I noticed how the cube has been solved. So there were lots of algorithms involved. Of course, I had to take notes on that, so that took a while for me to figure out. And then it took me 3 months to practice. And then after I practice all of those moves, that's the time that bit by bit I tried to improve my speed. So once I improve my speed, that took me around 8 or 9 times to get to the part that I'm getting less and lesser with my time, that being around 2 minutes. And then I got the chance that the fastest that I got was less than a minute. Probably about more or less 30 seconds. It's quite fascinating that I've discovered that. So, I knew that there is a potential that I can go faster. So, it all depends on how I use the algorithm. And of course, there had been other variations that I discovered that I could skip one step or reverse the step, and I could get to my target at a faster time. And that took me around a few seconds, just like this. Okay, still got one more. And this one is, I bought this from China, which is electroplated. And of course, this one has a magnet. So it will sort out just the way it is. But just like the other two, this one is much more slick. Okay. And then by the time, when I already mastered the 3x3, that's when I explored that what if I could do the 2x2, the 4x4, the 5x5, and so on, until my interest in the Rubik's Cube has grown. And it was fascinating to see that in such a short matter of time that I have discovered the solutions for all of these types of cubes, including the Pyraminx and the Megaminx. So I couldn't believe it myself that I could solve these things now. And I took the advantage of the pandemic to solve these cubes. And it's still in my head right up to now. So it was a blessing. But I have to admit, the bigger cubes were a bit challenging since there's the parity issue that we usually encounter. So that took a while for me to study, and in most cases I had to rest because there are a lot to memorize, a lot of algorithms to memorize. And the 2x2 that I thought that was the easiest among the cubes was the trickiest among them. But I still managed to solve that either way. So it was quite fascinating to learn all of those kinds of puzzles. So I'm kind of thankful that I know how to solve these things now. And a lot are requesting to teach them how to solve these cubes. But since here in YouTube you already have provided with a lot of instructional videos, so that part that's already been taken over. So all I can give you now are some scenarios that you can solve these puzzles. And there you go. I solved all 3 cubes. This is Megavinx, signing off.